And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the second session of today for the CIONET Awards 2026. My name is Hendrik Dekkers. I'm the founder of CIONET, and it's my pleasure to be your host and moderator for the next hour or so. And so today we're really, it's all about celebrating the accomplishments of all the nominees that we will showcase here today in a manner that inspires you, the audience, to use digital to pursue similar ambitions and provide you with insights on how you can realize your digital ambitions. And so that's what we're going to do here today. And so let me first do a couple of announcements. This today, the 9th of December, is part 1 that we're doing. Part 2 is on February the 12th. So please join us for that online session there as well. And there we're going to present you with the nominees in the category cybersecurity and in the category cloud and infrastructure. So that's online on the 12th of February. Please join us there as well. And then on March the 25th in London, we have the third part of this program where we have a gala evening where all the nominees, all the finalists, all the winners, all the jury members, and all the organizing people and members of our advisory board will get together. So if you receive an invitation for that, don't hesitate too long to register. It's an exclusive evening. If you really want to join, contact us and we'll see if we can get you a seat on that. And so first of all, I would also like to thank the nice people of Splunk. Splunk, a Cisco company. And so they are the partner that we have for this program, and they will be represented today by Mark Woods, their field CTO and technical advisor for Splunk EMEA. So we will see him later today. But first of all, it's now my pleasure to bring Niels and Daniel on stage. And so they are my co-moderators today. And first of all, I would like to welcome Niels, who's the Academic Research Fellow at the MIT Center for Information Systems Research, also known as MIT CISR. And Niels is the president of our jury. So a very warm welcome. And Niels, tell us, why is it that we are celebrating digital leadership?
Well, thank you, Hendrik. And this is really my favorite event of the year because it's intended to be a showcase of what great digital leadership looks like. And boy, all the nominees, as the audience will soon find out, are incredibly accomplished. And for us, as you recall, several years ago now, over 10 years ago, we introduced this event to really inspire current digital leaders and to provide role models for the next generation of digital leaders. Before, that was really chief information officers, chief digital officers. Today, it's the whole C-suite of organizations. They have to take on these digital leadership responsibilities. And today, we're going to hear from an amazing set of nominees about what they accomplished and how they did that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that, Niels. Also, a very warm welcome to Daniel Aken, who is the COO of CIONET International, who will be moderating a panel discussion with Mark Woods later on as well. So a very warm welcome, Daniel. Daniel, can you explain us the process of selecting our nominees, selecting the finalist winners, the role of the jury? How does this work?
Yeah, thank you. With pleasure, I'll explain it to you. In fact, we followed the whole process. It was very well structured and very transparent, and the nominees are my witnesses of that. Now, the core principle was guiding the whole selection. We were looking for successful digital leaders, success defined according to 4 criteria: business impact, stakeholder value, innovation and capabilities, and personal leadership. Now, the voting process itself went in 3 stages. The first stage, in fact, the nominees were put forward by the 7 countries of CIONET, Poland, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, UK, Italy, France, and Spain. And all nominees received a predefined questionnaire, something to complete, along with a full explanation of the criteria. Now, these completed overview of accomplishments went then directly to the members of the jury for assessment. Now, next to that, in the second phase, we had a deep dive interview that was recorded by video and that you can find on the website of CIONET. And these recordings with each of the nominees allowed us to go a little bit deeper on the person behind the technological success. What was his drive, his or her drive, his energy? Where did it come from? What was his inspiration to do what he accomplished? Now, the jury was, as you will present them, of course, they consist of top European leaders, digital leaders. They had, together with Niels, of course, you already mentioned from MIT CISA. So they had, they assessed all these portfolios that were put forward to them, rated them, give their personal voting, and then came together to decide on who the final ranking, who is the winner, and who are number 2 and 3 that we will discuss later on.
Okay, super.
Short, it was a very thorough process, and we looked at not only what was accomplished, but how it was accomplished and by whom. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you for that explanation, Niels and Daniel. We will see you later today. So, like Daniel mentioned, we've done deep dive interviews, video podcast interviews with all nominees that we're going to present to you today. Already 10 of these interviews have been published on CIONET.tv. They're also live on YouTube, on our channel on YouTube, and also on Spotify, and every available your favorite podcast platform will also have these podcast interviews available for you to listen to. So just search CIONET on them and you will find a huge library of very interesting conversations. So today we are going now to focus on data and AI. And like Daniel has explained, we have a very impressive jury. So all the overview of accomplishments that were shared with our jury members. And so here you have an overview of each one of them. So from Germany, we had Arlene Bühler, we had Veronique Sinclair, we had Artie Debedin, we had Russ Smith, we had Lucas Krause, Tim Sauer from Belgium, and then Daniel himself, of course. So these are our appreciated members of the jury. And then 2 of them are going to join us today. So Jose Senra from PepsiCo will be joining us here a little bit later, as well as Deborah Guma from the De Longhi Group in Italy. So I would like to explicitly thank all members of the jury for the time they have devoted to this. They took this very serious. We came together, they studied it, they voted, and then we came together to formally decide who was going to be the winner in out of these 5 beautiful nominees that you see here. So here are our data and AI nominees. We have from left to right, Rajat Dhawan, who's the group CDTO of Soho House, Angélique Bidault, CDPO of SNCF Connect ATech, Rahul Jimenez, head of data AI and integration platforms of Sika. So that's UK, France, and Switzerland for you. Then Jesus Oliva, head of data and AI of Mueve, the new name of the CEPSA company in Spain. And then Giuseppe Ficara, the Global Senior Director, Data and AI Officer of Amplifon in Italy. So these are the 5 nominees, and each one of them will get exactly, and I must stress that I need to do that time management, they get exactly 5 minutes to bring their case, and then the jury members will join, and they will then ask a couple of questions. And so the first one that we're going to bring on stage is Rajat Dhawan. And let me organize my slides here a little bit. So Rajat is the Group Chief Digital and Technology Officer at Soho House. And Soho House is an unparalleled membership business, creating high-touch, community-focused experiences for the creative industries. And Rajat has been steering a wholesale cultural transformation to embed data and AI to enhance member experiences and drive commercial growth. So a very warm welcome to you, Rajat. Rajat, you have 5 minutes to bring your case. Tell us all about the beautiful work you have been doing at Soho House.
Henrik, thank you, and very kind and very flattering. So 20 seconds on me. I've been at Soho House for 6 years. I've done a chief digital tech data role for 10 years. Prior to that, I spent a decade with Accenture. I have a PhD at the intersection of AI and human decision-making, something that I actively use in my day-to-day. And on the side, I lecture on the topic at the London School of Economics. Soho House, as Henrik said, we are a public listed lifestyle, luxury, hospitality business. And what's important about that is two things. One is our foundations. We are a founder-led business, which was originally private, then private equity backed. We're currently public listed, but then going back to becoming private again. So in the backdrop of all of these changes, the business has seen a lot of uncertainty and a lot of complications, which has meant that doing anything digital, data-oriented in a very high-touch physical business has been a challenge. The other aspect is at the cusp of, or the crux of our business is membership. Our customers are our members, and our members interact with us on both the digital and the physical side. So, from spas to events, to cinemas, to events, to restaurants, to travel, to hotel bookings, etc. Our members interact with us across a full lifestyle, and they use us a lot. So what that means is that we actually are able to capture a lot of our data, a lot of their data, both on the physical side as well as digital side, and use that appropriately and kind of suggest this to our operators in a way that they can actually use it properly. When I joined about 6 years ago, technology was barely understood, digital wasn't understood, and data was actively undermined. And the credibility of my team, I'd say on a scale of 0 to 10, was a -1. And that was because in a business which was old school, high touch, not a lot of this was understood. And there were fiefdoms where people did not want to actually hear about anything more than what they already knew. And I knew that to gather credibility, it was less about strategy, roadmap, and operating model. It was more about making sure that we were doing the right things, programs weren't derailed, and we were bringing the best of data and digital to the business. And the way to do that was to truly understand the business, what the business drivers were, where the margins were calculated, and what was the next 3 years for us. And what I realized was, obviously, there was a dearth of everything to do with data and AI. We did not have a data team. There was no data infrastructure, no tooling. But more importantly, there was no mindset of using data. So my journey started with the founder, because everything was very top-down in this business, to start understanding where he's coming from and start explaining to him on how we could be on this journey and what is the benefit of using data appropriately to improve customer experience. Customer experience and less about anything else. So I kind of got onto that journey, built a data warehouse in secrecy, and used.
Okay, and it looks like we're losing Rajat there. The internet in London is not what it used to be, apparently. So I'm sure he will be back with us in just a moment. Now, what I suggest is that we move on to the next nominee in this category. Are you back with us, Rajat?
Yeah, I am back. I think
Okay, please continue.
Sure. So essentially where we are now is that there's no meeting in the business that doesn't start with data. Everything kind of worked backwards from that. The weekly trading meeting, the monthly commercial meeting, all of these things have grounding in data in terms of what the customer is saying, where the opportunity is, where should we target our investments. That's number one. Then we've created multiple digital products like our app, which is used by 50% of the members on a weekly basis, where we actually capture their behavior and use that to personalize personalize their experience. And what that means for our business is that personalization leads to stickiness, which leads to more bookings, more footfall, and more revenue for us. The other thing that data has shown us is the opportunity that we have in the next 3 to 5 years. That was instrumental in convincing investors in terms of where the business is going, how could they put in more money, and that's been a significant part of the story as we first went public and now that we've gone private.
Okay.
If
you could wrap up, Rajat, then
sure.
We can ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah. So in general, we've come from a very high touch, people-oriented business where data wasn't used at all to a business where data is actually used actively. It is added to 200 million of incremental revenue, and it's leading to $40 million of year-on-year cost reduction for us.
Yeah. Amazing results, Rajat. Congratulations for that. Deborah,
thank you.
Do you have, as a member of our jury in this category, if you can unmute yourself, thank you. Do you have a question for Rajat? A very warm welcome to you.
For sure. Hi, Rajat. Hi, everybody. And you succeeded in shifting a founder-led culture from intuition to data-driven, as you said. How did you accomplish this?
Yeah, a lot was about showing and telling rather than saying. And it was about demonstrating, the next level of member behavior. What could that mean? For example, for our rooms business, not just understanding what the revenue was, but who's staying, for how long, why are they staying, how much are they spending, who are they bringing, who are these people in terms of demographic, in terms of psychographics. Really understanding that level of business was something that once you see that, you just couldn't unsee. And a lot of people who were in the business and running parts of the business for 20 years said, I'm not sure how I have been running this business segment for 20 years without this data. So once we had the data, it just became part of the dashboard and then got used on a weekly basis. Now it's dashboards that people see on the app on a daily basis. Okay, that's just one example of many.
Niels, you have a question. As president of our jury, you have a question for Rajat?
I just want to build on what was just asked. I mean, this idea of showing and telling with metrics, the jury was incredibly impressed with the range of metrics that you use. Most of the companies that I know are trying to realize more impact from digital. They are struggling with figuring out what the right metrics are. Any advice on what metrics to keep and which ones to drop so that you're not overwhelmed either on those dashboards with useless metrics? How do you figure out, I guess, with the business, what metrics to use and which ones to drop?
Yeah, that's simple, and maybe simple to say rather than to do is what moves the needle, because you're right. There are so many metrics in every part of the business, but what truly matters are only 2 or 3, and sometimes many others just feed into them. And sometimes if you're just looking at those 2 or 3 metrics, and everyone's fixated on that, it makes a big difference. So, for example, if in our business, footfall and spend are 2 big metrics. How many people come in, and when they come in, how much do they spend? Simple. And everything else in terms of personalization, loyalty, recognition feeds into them. And if there is a metric which doesn't relate back to those top metrics, they're probably not as valuable.
Okay, and with that, I would like to thank Rajat for the amazing presentation. And so it's now my pleasure to introduce Angélique Bidault, who is the Chief Data and Performance Officer at SNCF CIONET Awards, a French tech leader in sustainable mobility, powering the SNCF, the National Railways, Connect platform for train ticketing in France. And Angélique has led the organization's evolution to a data-driven, AI-augmented company, focusing on being client-first and delivering impactful projects like My Trainspective. Angélique, the next 5 minutes are yours. If you could please start with unmuting you, then we can all understand what you are saying. It's at the bottom of the screen. There we go.
It's okay? Okay.
Yes.
So, okay. First of all, I would like to thank you, everyone, to let me to be here to present what we do at SNCF Connect and Tech. So I joined the company in 2011 to build the customer data strategy. And now I lead the performance and data division with the mission to develop the value of the data, optimize performance, and drive revenue growth for SNCF Connect and Tech. SNCF Connect and Tech, as you said, it's a French lead tech company in sustainable mobility, where technology is in the core of the travel experience. SNCF Connect, we have two brands, and it's important for me to explain that. The first one is SNCF Connect. It's a travel agency where we have a huge amount of data because it's around 1.5 billion of visits in a year. And the second brand is more about Tech Tesmo, which provide app and digital solution for customer, businesses, or local authorities. So today I will present you some use case that we have in the data and AI focus on SNCF Connect brands. So I will show you three use cases to explain why, in fact, SNCF Connect helps customers to use more and more train, and to make sure that the train will be the preferred mobility for French users. The first one is the full train alert. Sorry. In fact, during busy travel periods, many trains quickly become fully booked, leading to travel frustration and sometimes causing them to abandon their plan to travel by train. So to address that, we develop a features to let users to sign in for notification as soon as the seats become available on a train previously shows as fully booked. You can say to me, but it's simple, but it's not easy as we think, because when it's very complex, it's like an algorithm, and we need to do that in real time. That is very important to be very efficient, and also we need to give the good answer when a place will become available. So in fact, the system that we create with the team is that we put users in a waiting list, and when a seat open up, we notify the next person in line, and then we have a limited time to purchase their ticket. And so the data is very core for this feature. Let me give you one figure, is that more in 1 in 2 customers who has been notified at the time to book a seat when it was available, and so the customer was very happy about that, and it's very successful for us to develop this feature. The second one is
And you have 1 minute left, Angélique. Please note you have 1 minute left for
1 minute left. Wow.
Yes.
Wow, it's so quick. Okay, so just the second one, it's a personalized, my retrospective. It's a personalized in years mobility, where we give the project when we give all the information that you do in train for by train, and we calculate what you avoid the CO2 emission compared to the car if you build the car. And it's a big successful because it's more of the one of the top 4-5 pages du coup of the year. So it's a very good successful, and the people like to share this information to their computer, to their friends. So for then we develop other feature, but I didn't have time. It's more about Gen AI. And so to conclude, maybe I hope that I explain you how we develop some feature to help people and use technology data to help people to more using train. And so for us, the data is very key to do that.
Okay, thank you so much, Angélique. Deborah, you have studied the case of SNCF Tech Connect. Do you have any questions for Angélique, please?
Yeah, of course. Good evening, Angélique. And you helped many teams across SNCF to use data and to listen and the customer needs, and to evolve the customer experience, which is relevant for the time being. And but how did you change the cultural environment within the employees? I mean, especially the ones which were who were not very much used for with the data and the technologies, because
Okay. In fact, it's something that I will give you my, let's say, the key success that we do that for that. So there is, we are very convinced that we need to make sure that the data is not technical. So we demystify the data. So we help them to understand the value. We engage them. We don't talk to them with data and technical issue. For example, for the second one, it could be, for example, we co-create. So we build solution together. So we create trust and ownership on that. And all the time we say, what is your issue? How can I help you? We are very close to them. And it's something also that I like to do, that to help them, sorry, to be aware about what's happening in terms of all the data that we have in the company. We use some game, for example. So now soon it's Christmas, and so we create, for example, data advent calendar. Each day they can win a sweet things, a chocolate, if they discover another data set on their environment. So we
yeah.
just do like demystified, well, like gaming and listening them.
Okay, chocolates as an incentive to find data.
And for the it's very for the businessman, you know, they like the challenge, they like the gaming, and it's very important, and it's works well.
Okay, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Angélique, for
Welcome.
your explication and for bringing this case. And so now it's my pleasure to introduce you to Rahul Jimenez, who is the head of data, AI, and integration platforms at Sika, which is a Swiss company, specialized chemical company producing thousands of products for construction and industry sector across more than 100 countries. Rahul, you have pioneered a fully governed enterprise system for data and AI, building one of the first AI governance frameworks in a large industrial company. Rahul, the next 5 minutes are yours. Please explain us your case.
Of course. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction and for this opportunity. So first, some insight. I joined Sika 7 years ago, and we started this journey a few years ago as well. You can imagine, in a so large company, so complex, our digital ecosystem, digital landscape was also reflecting such a complexity with significant fragmentation. So we had a lot of digital transformation, digital initiatives, but acting in a very isolated manner. Fragmented data, point-to-point integrations between databases and applications, Definitely that was a model not sustainable, not ready to scale. And then we decided to shift from these isolated standalone initiatives to enterprise foundations. And what I would like to share with you today is some key achievements that my team and myself, we achieved from the IT department. I'm sitting in the corporate IT department. And yeah, so the first one was the digital integration platform for data and process integration. This has become, after 3-4 years, has become a key backbone for the connectivity of all the applications in the digital landscape. Here, there is also a major shift with this integration platform, is that we switched from project to product. So the platform is a product, is considered as a product. My team is taking care of all the core global capabilities through the Center for Enablement. So we design patterns, guidelines, and everything to onboard ad hoc data integrators, and then we offer that to the rest of the organization. This is obviously in a federated model. And also the second point is that we focus on the APIs, or this integration asset, also considering them as products rather than one-off interfaces as it was in the past before. With all of these elements, in only 3 years, we achieved a significant improvement that was translated into 3 main aspects of that. One was very fast time to market. So we have 6 times faster delivery. Today, from requirement sign-off to UAT, we have 6 to 8 weeks. And also a reusability achievement of 76%. By the end of this year, we will reach 82% of reusability. It means that every time we need to connect database A with application B or application C with application D, we have significant amount of resources already available in the platform, and we can make it much faster. And this translates in a huge cost avoidance, cost that we are no longer expending to create, to maintain, to operate all of these data connections. Another key achievement, although it's still in the early stage, is the data platform. Here from IT, what we are doing since last year that we started this journey is providing the technical foundation for the data platform for data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and analytics. I will highlight here for me what is the most important achievement and also an opportunity for us in IT is proving that IT has a role to play and switch from a provider of tools to enabler of capabilities. So we work closely with our CICA Data Hub. They lead the governance of data, the architecture, the awareness, the empowering the domain teams, and so on. And we support them to achieve that. Again, making very transparent all the technical stuff and focusing on the outcomes. In parallel, last year, I had the opportunity to lead the project team that was responsible to develop the AI framework, governance framework. And we released also this year the AI policy assessment framework and also some key bodies, the governance committee and the expert team that I'm hosting both. So we are currently in MVP phase, but developing the project for the first iteration of the CICA AI platform that has a key focus on cross-model management across the organization, all models, LLMs to custom machine learning models as well. So with that, I would say it has been a long journey of not just delivering technical platforms and results that can be quantified, that are measurable, but for me, the most important achievement, and I'm proud of, is that we have designed and established the foundation for the next decade. I'm confident that what we have established here, and with this leadership mindset as well of having the courage to imagine the future, to proactively prepare for the future, I think that in my mission and vision of contributing, supporting my company to become an intelligent company in the future.
Super. Thank you, Rahul. Niels, as the president of our jury, do you have a question for Rahul, please?
Oh, I've got so many, but I absolutely love reading the overview. And I guess the key question, this notion of platform as a product, where the users of the product are the initiatives. So you've helped them time to market 6 times as faster. That's amazing. And then the reusability statistic, which is getting to 82%, that's also incredible. How do you maintain the relevance of the platform as a product to the users, the initiatives? How do you kind of make sure that those metrics only get better and better from the perspective of the users, the initiatives?
Yeah, first, as said, by the end of the year, we will reach this year 82%. That's the maximum of the reusability we can reach. There are always new systems, new applications, new data sources to integrate, right? But how do we maintain? It's a continuous balancing of flexibility and control. Control not to prevent people from continue doing what they do, but control to ensure that we address a simple question, and I always make it very simple. The question of what we need, what is requested, do we have something that can meet these requirements, or do we need to build it? from scratch? And if so, then we do it in a standardized manner that can serve future similar integrations, data integration. So it's not that we don't look at which applications, databases, data systems are being connected. We look at the themes, the capabilities that make it happen. And again, this can enhance the platform, and the platform can, in return, accelerate the initiative. And that's the result.
Okay, super, Rahul. Thank you so much for that presentation and for answering these questions. So it's now my pleasure to announce our fourth nominee in the Data and AI category, and that is Jesus Oliva, Head of Data and AI at Moeve, an international company committed to sustainable energy and mobility and accelerating Europe's energy transition. And Jesus has delivered tens of millions in value by focusing on value before volume, transforming the organization into a leader in industrial AI implementation and data democratization. So Jesus, tell us all about that. You have exactly 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your introduction. Thank you, CIONET. I'm very happy to share Moeve's data and AI journey. Let me start with the initial situation. When I joined Moeve 3 years ago, I found kind of paradox. I think we were what I call data rich, but insight poor. We were collecting lots of operational business data, external information across our industrial sites, but our utilization was limited to basic business intelligence with minimal strategic value. We had siloed systems, limited governance, no systematic approach to extracting insights. So it was very difficult to get value from data or even AI. So the challenge was we had to build a complete value-driven data journey. First, we focus on the basics, building a value-driven data foundation based on 3 main pillars: value, governance, and data culture. For value, we identified high-impact initiatives and deployed them step-by-step, measuring the real value. This meant strategically ingesting, governing, and democratizing only the data that directly contributed to specific business outcomes, and clearly measure the impact of each step we took, not focusing on business cases or estimates, but on real measured value to continue scaling. I think that's one of the keys. Regarding governance, we knew from the very beginning that in order to have a scalable data foundation, data governance is not an option. Keeping track of data lineage, monitoring data quality was absolutely key to properly scale. Without this, you can maybe deploy 1, 2 use cases, but if you really want to scale, you need to have data governance in place. And finally, regarding culture, we implemented a comprehensive data democratization program that changed how employees across all levels access and use information. We achieved active user adoption rates of more than 75% across all our industrial operations. But this wasn't just about data access. I think it represented a fundamental shift in data literacy and culture, and had a tangible impact on operational efficiency and decision-making speed. So it was really this culture part, the thing that really moved the needle regarding our business. Now, once we have a robust data foundation in place, and while we kept growing it, of course, the second step was building and scaling AI on top of it. And we followed exactly the same approach, focus on value, governance, and culture. Regarding value, we started with a small pilot that showed clear returns. As an example, our first pilot showed more than 250% return of investment, and then systematically expanded this case and others through 4 distinct waves with different initiatives over 3 years. What we did is that each wave was built upon the previous learnings, and again, with rigorous value tracking and stakeholder engagement. Again, we didn't scale solution based on business cases, on estimates, on what we thought we were getting, but on actual measured value. And this transparency became our most powerful tool to get the business buy-in for the next waves, right? And here, the cumulative business impact of AI solutions was more than 25 million per year across process optimization, predictive maintenance, generation forecasting, etc. And again, the key, every euro we invested was measured in terms of value, validated, and directly attributable to specific AI implementations. Then regarding governance, we realized also that AI governance would be critical for sustainable scaling. You need to monitor your model's performance. You need to set alarms, training pipelines. So we developed our responsible AI framework and the responsible AI platform, which was recognized in the Forbes Innovation Awards as a finalist. And we are actually actively pursuing ISO 42001 certification, which we plan to get in January, is showing our clear commitment to responsible AI, not just a governance framework that stays in a PowerPoint. So we want to get certified. And finally, culture. Again, we invested heavily in capability building through structured training programs, communities of practice, embedded data scientists working alongside business units. And I think this human-centric approach transformed ways of working across the organization, creating a kind of self-sustaining ecosystem where business teams actively collaborated with data science teams to ideate, prototype, and deploy data solutions with the appropriate technical support. And that's it, more or less. All this effort, all the impact of this holistic transformation was validated last year when one of our industrial sites received the award of the best European refinery of the year by ERTC, thanks to its literally groundbreaking digitalization and artificial intelligence project. And besides that, we are being considered to be named as a global lighthouse by the World Economic Forum for industrial AI implementation, showing that our transformation can be an example of an industrial data and AI journey.
Okay, super. Thank you so much, Jesus, for this sharing this impressive accomplishments that you and your teams have implemented. Jose Sendra from PepsiCo, a very warm welcome to you, sir. Do you have a question for Jesus, please?
Absolutely. Thanks, Hendrik. First of all, congratulations, Jesus, for this fantastic journey. Very, very impressive. The question is related to a bit of reflection. Yeah. So a cornerstone of your success was cultivating a data-driven culture, fostering the right mindset, and investing in skills development. Also, you were connecting the data scientists with the business units. Can you tell us more about how you were coaching those data scientists and the business units and how this was driving value?
Yes, as I mentioned, I think this cultural part, this collaboration part is the key of all this transformation. I think to foster true collaboration, we need to speak a common language, and that's not so common between data scientists and business people, right? So what we did is make our data scientists work closer to our engineers in our sites, going in person to the sites and understanding their daily jobs and the process they use. And we specifically coach them on a fundamental mindset shift. The goal is to solve business problems and not showcase technical sophistication. So we shouldn't pursue the fanciest neural network architecture. The objective is to solve real business problems. And sometimes we do with a linear regression. That's it. In the same way, we work with our business in three ways. First, this is something that Rajat already mentioned, show and don't tell. We identified a couple of champions, a couple of small pilots delivering real value. And this was the best marketing for us. Second, practical data literacy attached to our data democratization initiative. We work with the business to not so much abstract statistics, but to teach, hey, this is the way you can build your dashboard. Here's how you can interpret this predictive maintenance alert. And third, made the business unit the owners, not customers, right? And work together. As a result, when a refinery manager calls your data scientist to discuss operational strategy, to discuss how to embed a model in the process, I think this is when you know this collaboration model is working.
Okay. And with that, Jesus, I would like to thank you for explaining all that and congratulate you for the impressive results that you have created for Mueve. Next, fifth and final nominee for today is Giuseppe Ficara, who is the Global Senior Director Data and AI Officer of Amplifon. And Amplifon is the world leader in hearing care and hearing aids, and they help people to rediscover the emotion of sound. So Giuseppe, you spearheaded the transformation of data governance by leveraging AI. You drastically reduced the effort and the cost of the program by a huge percentage. So tell us all about that. Giuseppe, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you all. I'm very pleased to be here today with such a great panel of experts. So, everyone here, we are talking about AI. A lot of people are testing AI, and maybe someone we heard is already adopted AI, maybe at scale. But there is one truth I think we don't talk about enough. That AI without context is a kind of useless in the enterprise context. It's powerful, the LLM, so far and so forth. But if we don't understand the world it operates in, it remains a little bit generalist. So my point is not how do we adopt AI. The real question for me is how do we give AI the right context it needs to actually work. And in Amplifon, we start the work with AI starting with a massive challenge that was a little bit hidden in our data. So when we migrated almost 1 year ago our enterprise data platform from Oracle to Google Cloud, we faced something that could be unexpected because it was a state-of-the-art platform at the end of the migration, but with thousands of data pipelines, SQL, scripts, transformation, workflow, everything at the end of the day was running, but let me say almost impossible to rapidly explain because there was a lot of logic undocumented, hidden dependencies between technologies, and the business teams were always unsure where the data actually come from. It was for sure a living system that was generating value with dashboard, Power BI, so far and so forth, but it was like, I used to say, inheriting a huge library where someone has removed all the labels from the books. And in a world where the AI is hyper-automating every human in test job, there's a huge paradox that we used to see. To automate the work, you must first understand the work. And the processes are almost never documented or up to date, at least from my perspective after 15 years in consulting. So we ask ourselves, where is the right context? And the answer was not in manuals or front office, not in the PowerPoints, but in the data itself. And because I think the data are the most up-to-date representation of companies really works. And if we can't read it and explain it, the AI cannot do its job. So the turning point was to use AI to create the context for AI. So we used AI not to automate the business, at least at the very beginning, but to understand the business. So we developed and deployed open source data lineage and data catalog across every region, every country, every business unit. And I can say every data technology, from ETL to data visualization, to analytics, to data quality. And then we nest this kind of tool by developing and integrating AI agents that are now able to parse thousands of ETL jobs and SQL transformation, to automatically rebuild data flow that was broken, generate functional and technical explanation, and produce semantic KPI definition. And honestly, what used to take months of manual investigation now takes minutes. And so the result is now that data governance is no longer a manual effort. It has become an AI-driven, human supervised, obviously, process. And the impact from a business perspective has been huge. The first one is quite simple: immediate cost saving, because usually the typical cost of a data governance is around 2 years program. We estimated it internal plus external cost around 2 million, made by interviews, a lot of spreadsheet, endless meeting. And this cost has been dramatically reduced to around 6 months and 200,000 euro, more or less. The second was a massive reduction of technical debt, because this kind of AI agent now can continuously identify duplicated pipeline, unused data set, unnecessary transformation. And this implies the third benefit, that is faster delivery cycle. Because now data developer, analysts are no longer investigating the code, but they are using and reusing the code existing. And it comes to, I think, one of the great benefits from a CFO perspective, that is reducing the cloud cost consumption. Because removing this kind of data set, unused or redundant processes, we reduce the baseline of our cloud cost by 20%, both on Google and both on Azure. And so, and in this kind of foundation, we are now able, and we have been already able, to set up and scale up several AI agents with a strong foundation, responsible foundation, and secure foundation. So I think at the end of the day, to conclude, this journey has been not complicated only from a technical perspective, but mostly for a human perspective, because asking teams and our stakeholders to trust that AI can reconstruct and display complex business logic or business processes was not easy, no? And there was fear of mistake, obviously, no? Fear of losing control, fear of losing maybe the identity of some analyst or some process owner, no? And so I think that our role as a data and AI team, and my role as a leader in this kind of organization, this kind of business unit, it was to taking the responsibility for the risk, obviously, because we were not sure that this kind of job can be successful, but creating a path showing progresses instead of making a lot of promises around AI, generating a lot of ROI. And so I think this has been, I think, the major accomplishment for this guys, creating a solid foundation and then enabling a responsible, faster, and cost-effective scale up of the AI strategy.
Okay, grazie mille, Giuseppe. Jose, can you tell us what is the burning question that you have for Giuseppe here?
Absolutely. So first of all, Giuseppe, fascinating journey. I think you did an amazing job. The question I have is about the challenge that you overcame by connecting the business leaders and then ensuring that they have the right ownership to accomplish what you actually plan.
Yes. The point is that we force our leaders not to talk and to think about the AI as a technology, but the AI as pushing to regenerate our internal knowledge. So we create this kind of role that is the knowledge manager instead of the AI evangelist, because it's all about, from my understanding and not from my feeling, it's all about knowledge. If we have a solid knowledge, we can scale up easily the AI, not with a lot of risk, not with a lot of cost, because it's all about giving the context. No, but it's mostly about giving the context. So we force our leader to think how to reconstruct and rebuild their knowledge instead of forcing him to feel and to trust on AI as a technology.
Okay. And on that note, thank you so much, Giuseppe. We could spend many more hours just discussing your case, of course, just like the other cases. And so this brings us to the end of the 5 wonderful nominees that we have heard from. So I would like to thank Niels and our members of the jury for participating here with us today. And so we'll see them back later on. So now, it is my pleasure to welcome Daniel and Mark Woods, and they're going to kind of discuss what we have learned from these 5 nominees. Daniel, the floor is yours.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Hendrik. Indeed, we heard some fantastic pitches about fascinating data and AI projects. And in order to put this a little bit in a broader perspective, wider strategic context, we invited Mark Woods, the Field Chief Technology Officer and Technical Advisor for EMEA at Splunk, to comment on them to put them a little bit in a wider context. Now, Mark, what we heard so far is that these stories highlight a very significant move from small-scale pilots on AI, etc., to really industrial strength AI deployment. But that is one aspect, but maybe we can start with the money in the sense that we heard a number of nominees talking about one core platform for all the data and AI tools. Now, is this building a stable platform, a central data platform foundation, the very first crucial step before you can even work with or truly use AI in the organization? Is that a must?
So having access to data, absolutely. Building one platform to do it, not. And that's because actually we've heard from some of the nominees that it's not just about the data, it's also about the context and the intent. And unfortunately, if we really just focus on the data itself, we have a huge transformation project simply to pull the data together. And actually, you've seen how these projects have iterated and grown. And if you can pull those together, then we already have the important concepts in place, like federation and catalogs and fabric of data. But actually, it's really developing that context and intent. And I like Giuseppe talking particularly about this being about knowledge rather than data.
Yeah. Now, we heard, in fact, companies like Moeve and Sika, they focused heavily on formalizing AI governance. Does this mean that, as I said, the era of AI experimentation is over? Companies must have now a strong safety and governance measures in place before launching any AI project?
So I think it's always a spectrum, but you absolutely need to have oversight in place. I think for lots of people in the industry got very excited about lots of very tangible ways in which they could potentially use things. But really, you need controls in place, but they should be balanced. Practical guidance, novel risks. And then realistically, it's about leaders to put in place the frameworks and processes to allow safe methods and areas for experimentation. But throughout all of this, I quite like the way in which lots of the nominees were structuring, because actually there should be that bias towards deterministic systems, i.e. things that definitely generate that outcome.
Yeah. And now let's look as a conclusion a little bit into the future. If I hear these people talking about these excellent projects, what, according to you, are the most significant, most important new challenge the top data and AI leaders will have to face, according to you, in the next 2 years? So give us a glimpse into your crystal ball.
Yeah, so 3 things for me. The first one I like to call implausible impossibilities. Plausible impossibilities. The trouble we have now is multiple stakeholders being able to do quick experiments and non-experts being able to prototype. And whilst that's amazing in some of the potential you can see, it's not necessarily grounded in reality. The second is most of the big jumps forward we've seen, especially in generative systems, have algorithmic and scale dependencies. They've been rapidly developed, but they are limited in terms of commercial viability. And if you think about the foundational models, that's only a small pool of experts or owners. And the last thing we really need to think about as we go forward, especially when we're talking about data and context, is a cyclical pollution, a cyclical inference pollution. If you think about the data that's being produced by these systems, if they are generating the understanding, and then they're going back into the model that provides the recommendations, and then those recommendations provide some of the understanding, you can end up in this circle where the inference from the model is driving the training of the model.
Okay. Taking into account the timing constraints that we have, I want to thank you very much, Mark, for sharing your reflections. I really enjoyed the conversation. I'm sure that the audience did that too. So thanks a lot for doing that and for being here and participating in this CIONET Awards event.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you to all of the nominees for their excellent submissions.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Daniel. So, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting closer to announcing who is the who are going to be the winners of today of the CIONET Awards 2026 in Data and AI. And so, just as a reminder, these were the 5 people that you've heard that presented their case: Rajat Dhawan from Soho House, Angélique Bidault from SNCF Connected Tech, Rahul Jimenez from Sika, and Jesus Oliva from Moeve, and Giuseppe Ficara from Amplifon. So they have all presented their case in a very excellent way. And so what we have done is, like Daniel has explained, their accomplishments, they were documented, they were sent to the jury. They voted what they thought was had the highest business impact and on the other criteria. And based on that, again, the votes were very, very close. But these are the 3 finalists that the jury have selected, and they are Angélique Bidault, Rajat Dhawan, and Jesus Oliva. And so I'm going to bring all of them on stage here with us today. Let me see. I think we have all of them. Let's bring it like this here. Let me put everybody in the right order here so that we have the three finalists on top. And so like we said, the jury, they have spoken. They have selected a winner. And so we are about to announce the winner of the CIONET Award in this category. But Niels, tell us, why has the jury selected this particular nominee to be the winner in this category?
Well, the jury decided that the winner of this category, they should win because they really helped their organization to use data to realize an impressive range of strategic ambitions. They empowered employees and business leaders from across the organization to use data to make better decisions and solve even more ambitious problems for employees and for customers. The jury members have never seen such a range of measurable business impact. And so, as one jury member noted, this winner has set a new digital standard for their sector. Hendrik, who is the winner I am referring to?
Okay, and so without further ado, it's now my pleasure and my honor to announce the winner of the CIONET Awards 2026 in the category Data and AI. And the winner is Rajat Dhawan from Soho House. Congratulations, Rajat, with you going off screen. This is the perfect timing to do this. Yeah, you're back. Very, very good. So Rajat, congratulations. You are the winner of this CIONET Award.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure it comes as a surprise, but tell us a little bit, what does it mean for you and for your teams?
Well, first of all, I wasn't expecting this at all. So thank you very much. It's very kind and very humbling. What does it mean for my team? It's recognition of the journey that we've been on, and the journey hasn't been easy. From not just tooling and infrastructure and projects. It's
okay. And the emotions have getting the most of Rajat. Internet can't cope with it anymore, so I suggest that we bring everybody on screen here with us. So I would like to thank everybody to being with us here today. And so on this note, we have a wonderful list of nominees, wonderful finalists, and we have a great winner that I will bring back just for one moment. Let me just Daniel, remove you for a moment so that we can bring Rajat back. So Rajat, from all of us here around the table, congratulations for your great work. Congratulations for winning this award. And we look forward to seeing all of you on the 25th of March on the London event. And so that's where we can learn more from each other, what has been happening in our organizations, what have we been working on, and where we can celebrate digital leadership. So thank you, everybody. We're going to go out with a bang and see you very soon on the next part of the CIONET Awards. Thank you, and bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
For the last 15 years, I've been on a quest to discover the DNA of the most successful digital leaders in the world. What makes them tick, what's in their minds and in their hearts. We are sharing deep insights from our world-class CIOs so that you get inspired, can learn and reach your full potential as a digital leader. If you are an ambitious technology executive, then I invite you to join CIONET. Join our community so that you too can realize your ambitions.